Welcome back to Pro and Noob. Pro, Noob. That way? Is that right?
Yeah, you're right.
That's double check.
You know what we should do? We should
swap the sides around when we're recording this so I can actually point in the right direction.
I mean, it doesn't matter to me, but what I was going to say was what we should do, because you're already dragging your feet with sending me a new picture I can use of you on thumbnails for Nerd Academy stuff.
He thinks I'm dragging my feet. That's adorable.
Yeah. Oh no, I know that you lied to me when you said you were going to. I knew you were a liar. No, what we should do.
You got one. Be happy with that. No.
This is such a me reference to make. What we should do, if I'm ever in the UK, or if you ever decide to like send me another picture to use instead of you just going with a teacup.
It's a mug.
It's a mug, whatever. You're British, so it's all a teacup.
Teacups are small and tiny.
Sure. But is the original or the first album from DJ Jazzy Jeff and the Fresh Prince, where it's like he's the rapper and I'm the DJ. Like that's the name of the album, and like recreate that album art, but it's like he's the pro, I'm the noob. Just like
sure.
Just recreate that album art. And make that the first bit of Mitch 692 merch is he's the pro and
I'd never do that. I'd never do that.
Oh, that'd be fun though. That would be fun though to like recreate that album art.
You could have that. I won't.
Hold on.
But while he searches for that, we are back with Attack on Titan, episodes 6, 7, and 8.
I'm looking at this, and this would be so perfect for us. I'm so for real. I love it. Okay, I'm sorry. The album art's so iconic.
Send it in the chat. I'm just gonna snip. No one will see this bit. It's fine.
Here, I'll put it in the private chat. I think it's just the Google search link. But there you go. Anyway. Attack on Titan.
Oh yeah, God, yeah. Of course, I haven't seen that in actual decades. Got there. Yeah.
He's the DJ. I'm the rapper. I mean, I don't know which one. I obviously want to be Will Smith. Like I want to be the one. I want to be in the Will Smith position. Going,
Jarod wants to do blackface.
Whoa!
It's fine. In keeping with a specific thing that happened and was said in these 3 episodes of Attack on Titan, I think that's perfectly fine.
I have no recollection of what you're saying that could make.
You don't remember when they just outright call Mikasa Oriental? Oh, she's not Oriental. She comes from the Far East.
When you said, okay, no. When you said within these 3 episodes of Attack on Titan, I thought you meant, because now we are recording the 3rd episode of our coverage, I thought you were saying there was something we said in the last 3 episodes that I was like, where the fuck did that come from? No, yeah, that little Oriental bit. Wow.
It's fine for them to say it because it's written by a Japanese man.
Yeah. And it's also framed as not being good in the scene as well, so kudos there.
Yeah. Poor little Mikasa.
All right, I want to start off with what I think is the most pressing issue I have with these couple episodes, and it was something I noticed about halfway through the 2nd episode. Why is the one girl wearing a hoodie?
Why not?
It just everything feels very like, Industrial Revolution adjacent, and she's just wearing like a hoodie, and that I've noticed that, and that kind of bothered me.
Why not?
Sure. Well, that's all I have for these 3 episodes. So,
in a land of giant titans that have no genitals, that steam and run round like that. The most hilarious run.
That one that like also like ate shit into a building as well.
Mm-hmm.
Like It's one of those instances where I said it before, like I don't like to be the type of person who like laughs at something that is kind of like awkward in a piece of media because it feels very like, oh, I have to laugh to like not like, cringe culture, whatever. But like truly the way these Titans run, especially like into shit, is really funny.
It's the funniest thing. Yeah. I don't know what the choice was there. If I can't remember the guy who wrote Attack on Titan, but if I could pick his brain on one thing, it's like, what made you do the Titans like that? What was the thinking behind that?
I mean, I can understand that, like, if like there seems to be some type of almost like primeval, like, like lizard, caveman, toddler brain at play. So, like, them not having a great grasp.
It's also that uncanny valley.
Yeah, although the uncanny valley stuff's super in there too. But just like that specific element of like, these are creatures that are not fully aware of the space they take up and therefore are kind of like, little baby Bam Bam.
So obviously they move more like this with the anime because that's all movement.
Yeah.
Not that I've actually read Attack on Titan. I always wanted to. I just never got around to it. So I don't quite know if they are drawn like that or whatever in the actual pages, but I just like to pick his brain on that one thing. Like, what was the thinking behind that exactly?
Right. But yeah, no, we did some really funny dramatic irony in the last episode, didn't we? Well, I can now say I now know what Mikas's deal is. Wow. That's a lot. I gotta.
You'll have this a lot with this show.
Is this a safe space? I know it's not.
It depends. It depends. You got to say it now, Neil, regardless.
I know. I am struggling isn't the right word because I'm not struggling with it. I just like what?
How they look like stickers.
What?
Right. You know how that the outline is got like a dynamicism to it. Like you'll get thick and it'll go thin and it'll get thick and it'll go thin.
Oh my god, that's so funny.
You have these absolutely insane looking backgrounds. Like the art style of them as well. Like the art style is great for Attack on Titan. I love it. But you have this thickness and it changes constantly and it looks like they've just gone.
So that's funny.
I hate it.
I'm not a big Family Guy, but I do love this meme and I do love this quote. It insists upon itself, Lois. It insists upon itself. And that's not even a critique of Attack on Titan, really. There's just like the tone is overwhelming.
Like when I said in the first episode that it's just about the dub and how it's just constantly trying to beat you down.
Yeah, this is a hard watch. Like I found I sat down yesterday, like for those of you watching, because we're recording this ahead of like a week in advance, right? So Taylor, Mitch, and I were supposed to do the Age of Ultron, Road to Doomsday. We also had a bunch of other stuff to do. She wasn't feeling well, so she was kind of in bed all day because she just felt like death. And like it seemed like she was like, okay, I'm gonna try to like do stuff around the house. We were trying to put up like our new like record wall, and stuff, and then like that wasn't working because like one of the hooky things is messed up. And it was like, okay, and she got frustrated. She was like, I'm just going back to bed, and I was like, you do that. And I was like, you know what? I was like in the mood to play Soul Calibur. So I sat down. I was playing Soul Calibur 6 for a little bit because I realized that like the version I have on my PS5, I've not actually completed story mode for like most of these characters. Yeah. So I was like poking through story mode, and I was like, okay. I was like, it's getting a little late. I know we got to be up early to record Pro and Noob and do the shit today we were going to do yesterday. And I was like, okay, I'm just going to knock on Attack on Titan so I can just wake up and talk about it. And holy shit, like, this is hard. Like, this is a legitimately hard show to get through. And I sat down excited because I was like, because I'm sitting there and I'm like, okay, Aaron just got fucked up by that Titan, and I'm pumped to watch it and, get.
Would you say Aaron? Oh, no, actually, no. I was going to say something then. I was like, no, I'm not going to do that.
So I'm like, okay, let's see where this cliffhanger is going to take us and what the vibes are going to be. And I sit down and I watched the first episode, and most of it is child trafficking and a double homicide. And I'm like, okay, fucking hell. Whoa, we're going. Okay. This is rough. And then, the second episode is a lot of horrors of war with like a little bit of a bright spot at the end with the Titan that's obviously Aaron. And
yeah, it is.
And then, episode 3 is, kind of like jostling between it. And I will say, what I'm impressed about with this show so far is a lot of stories that deal with the horrors of war. Let me rephrase that. A lot of stories that deal with the concept of war and soldiering, right? It either goes the main 2 routes that have a bunch of different sub routes are horrors of war and propaganda. Now, sometimes you start on the sometimes it'll start as like tongue-in-cheek propaganda that is very much the horrors of war, right?
Yeah.
Like the presentation will be, rah, rah, we're gonna do the thing, but and the drums and the flag, and oh my god, he lost his leg. Like
Starship Troopers, everything.
Starship Troopers, Helldivers, like that route. And then there are others that just go straight into, we are in the shit. This is terrible. Saving Private Ryan type shit, right? And what I really think is clever with Attack on Titan is that I have never felt more propagandized in my life. Like the amount of we are in the shit, but it's still heroic. That is kind
when
of
all the fucking music kicks in.
That is kind of tonally psychotic. And again, checking what I've read and heard at the door, I'm having moments where I'm like, yeah, I see it. Wow. Because it's like there's an honesty. There's an honesty about the horrors of war here. But the chaser is, but you're still a hero. And that is
the late 2000s music coming in.
Yeah, dude. When they're gearing up to go do the thing, and it's just that and all you hear is that kick drum, and it's just that donk, 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 donk. I'm ready for Paralyzer by Finger 11 to start playing. I'm fully ready for when the ODMs just like. I'm the paralyzed.
Though I should note, this did come out in 2013, so it's not quite the 2000s, but I think
no, that's the fucking vibe. That is the vibe.
It's that it came out at a point where the teens hadn't quite found its own voice yet, or it just found its voice, and obviously they made this before that happened, so you still got that holdover from the noughties. And it's fantastic,
dude. I was truly, I said Finger 11 just because when I hear a kick drum go for that long, that I'm ready for that.
In fact, I'm going to go one step further than this. Actually, it is a early 2000s anime AMV.
Yeah, Yeah,
this is Linkin Park over Neon Genesis.
I was just about to say, like, I made that joke because, like, it's like that kick drum reminds me of Paralyzer, but in my mind,
I'm like, that with the most, like, the highest regard you could have.
Of course, but like I'm saying, like when they go flying into battle, like. I like literally. I'm like in my mind. I'm like, okay, so is this a Linkin Park? Is this a Breaking Benjamin? Is this a 3 Days Grace? Like what? Like what's the what's the AMV? What's the edit here? Because like that is what
3 Doors Down, like. Kryptonite.
Three Doors Down, like all of like that, like that like new metal 2000s hard rock. Like it's all right there, and I was like, this is kind of astounding tonally. Like this is astounding, and
it's gotta pick you up at some point, Jarod.
It does have to pick you up at some point, but it's fascinating in its rhetoric and in its messaging, that the way it picks you up is not through, you know, a rousing and now we're going to take the fight to them type moment. You know, like at no point is this what should be a suicide mission really framed as a suicide mission. Like they go out of their way to be like, yeah, we're probably all going to die, but we're going to like be heroic about it though. And we're going to be cool about it. Like, again, and I don't want to talk about Star Wars discourse, Mitch. I don't know.
And they're all cool apart from 2. Let's just add that in there.
What?
So they're all cool apart from 2 of them.
Yeah.
Sasha, and I can never remember the ball kid's name.
Yeah.
Buzzcut kid. He had one job, literally, and you goofed it.
But, and again, I don't want to get into Star Wars discourse. I don't want to argue about this movie. But like even something like Rogue One, right? There is like we recognize the heroism and the bravery of every single rebel soldier who's either in space above Scarif or boots on the ground on Scarif. And we recognize what they're doing as deeply heroic, but there is a somberness underneath it. You know, like outside of the shot in the arm that is, this is Admiral Radis above the starship profundity, you know, like Rogue One, we are here to support you. Like aside from that, there's not really a big shot in the arm moment during the Battle of Scarif. You know, we get like moments of like breathing easy but like even that comes with the sacrifice of the entire crew is dead up to this point. You know, Bodhi Rook took a thermal imploder to the face. Baze Malbus and Sheridan-Way have been riddled with bullets. K2SO's dead, and Cassian and Jyn are on the beach getting ready to be disintegrated by the Death Star. Like, none of it has a moment of like rah.
No.
Outside of the Radis moment. The rah is like the dramatic irony of knowing that in like a day Luke is going to blow up the Death Star, but like. There's still a solemnity to how like the battle itself is exciting and it's an incredible like final action set piece, but like there's a solemnity to it that undergirds all of it. And even when you have this like glimmering moment of like hope, it then is followed by Vader's massacre going on to the Tantive V4, like right. So it's like it's very much like look at the sacrifices that had to be made to get us to the Battle of Yavin, right? I say all that Star Wars comparison to say this feels like if we had a Battle of Scarif like level of we're all gonna die and we know it, but maybe we can kick them in the dick on our way out. Like it's framed like that, but tonally. Almost feels like a silly fight from the Clone Wars, right? Because there's still that like rah we're heroes, like, and it's wild. It's wild. I feel like I'm looking at people who are fully buying into like some amount of like propaganda and like you know I don't even know have the words for it, like because I just keep coming back to like to propaganda and indoctrination. And those words aren't enough to describe it. But like there is something so compelling tonally here that boggles my mind. Pardon my hiccups. But
it's half the reason people like this.
And I see very easily how a lot of this stuff leads into some other shit. And I'm like, okay, like, because again, it's not framed as a good versus evil.
No.
You know, we're like,
it's just pure survival.
It's pure survival framed like good versus evil. With like, that's almost like using the visual language of good versus evil. And I have never seen, because again, like it goes back and forth. Like we just get these long, like lingering shots of somebody just going, oh, Jesus,
yeah. There's that one shot of Armin. I think it was in episode 6, and it's just PNG with animated tears, and it holds on that face for like
or like the other guy who like becomes the de facto leader, you know, because like again, I'm so hazy on the names. I'll get them eventually.
I can never remember his remember. I can tell you a few others, but I can never remember his.
But you know what I'm talking about. Like we get these like lingering shots of him being like horrified by what's happening around him, and then immediately we go back into like, you know, it turns into like almost like a almost feels like the Badly Yavin at certain points. You know, it's like Scare of Stakes, but with like a kind of not playfulness. It's not the Badly Yavin's playful, but like there's almost like there's a lightness to it. You know, where you know it's like, you know, oh, you're not good back in there at like Red 5, like pull out, get it, like it's like that kind of talking, but then we also just get these like. I just watched him fly into his teeth. Like it's just
yeah.
It's watching the horrors of war and the glory of war be married and almost form this like tonal double helix that shouldn't work, but is phenomenal in terms of like making you want to root for these folks. And the only thing that's like keeping me away is like, again, it's not even that like I know about the discourse so much as it's like, if I knew nothing, my spider senses would be tingling about the framing. Like I'm looking at, I'm like, oh my God, this is like rhetorically loaded, you know, and a lot of the might makes right philosophy as well, you know, where it's like, oh, like as a young boy, Aaron Yeager was somebody who was saying the words kill or be killed. Survival.
They are not humans, they are animals.
Yeah.
This kid is 5 years old.
And again, like, is that language inherently fascistic? No. Does it have
in the context of the show, it does kind of come.
Does it have a history of saying, look at this degenerate, you know, like they are a lesser form of human being. You know, the only way to deal with them is to eradicate them. I am not here to defend the men who are trying to sexually traffic child Mikasa, but like fucking hell, the language says a lot. And I will go so far as to say, and I don't know how much of this is intentional. This is not something I'm super familiar with. I don't even know how this would play in with a Japanese audience and like what the temperature would be if this is even something that's remotely on their radar. I do have to say, the way some of the Titans look, the way that some of the bad people are drawn are a little, I feel like I saw this in a cartoon in the 30s and I don't like it.
See, I can't remember which one it is.
That a thing that's been discussed? That like okay, I'm just going to speak plainly.
I'm not.
And this isn't me calling my
sure.
shot, and I'm not trying to call my shot on anything. Just to make clear what I'm about to say, I'm not trying to call my shot on anything. I don't know enough yet. I own that, but I can't help being the friend who's too woke. I can't help but wonder, was there ever a discourse about like anti-Semitic caricatures with some of the Titans?
No.
That was never a thing?
No.
Because I will say, and again, and this is where like kind of that background knowledge plays a little bit of a part, where it's like, again, I'm like, like some of the features, I'm like, this feel like the what I think it's the Titan that eats Eren. That I looked at it, I went, that looks like the fucking merchant like meme. And like, again, not that I think that it's necessarily intentional, but it's just one of those undergirdings that it's like, even if you're not trying to do this, when you're playing in this with this set of toys in the backyard, you end up stepping into certain presentations, even if it's unintentional.
Let me look at. I mean, I'll be honest. Outside of the beard, I guess maybe the hair, the way it goes up. I don't inherently see it myself.
Okay, I was just curious.
I can kind of get where you're coming at with that. I don't believe that was ever the intention.
And I'm not necessarily saying it is. I just know that, like, because so many conversations have been had about this show, I don't know what those conversations are. I just know what a lot of them say, and I'm curious if that is part of the underpinning here. Is that like there are certain like, you know, like visual indicators that are like, oh, look at this guy, you know, like, you know.
I'd be very surprised if it was ever intentional, to be honest. But
and like I said, I don't know enough, and I'm not gonna be able to like adequately research what are deemed like by people who understand this art form better as like the problematic elements for quite some time. But like, this is me kind of like beginning to keep like a mental Rolodex of like, this made my ears perk up. You know,
I think with the Titans, I'm just gonna put the flag in the ground and say it's not intentional, purely because they're all supposed to be very uncanny valley, right? So that you're gonna have these different features that no two Titans look the same,
right?
I think with that, you're gonna end up with features where you could make an argument for. I don't think it's inherently intentional.
Right. And again, I don't want to make it clear. I'm not saying that's the case.
Oh no.
And I just for the folks at home, our Dan to Dan seasons have put me in a place where I feel the need to like hyper clarify that I'm not necessarily making a values judgment quite yet, so much as I'm having a moment where it's like, I can't help.
You're thinking out loud.
I'm thinking out loud, and I'm like, I'm scrutinizing what I'm watching as I'm watching it, and you know, I can't help but go, the Titan that ate the main character looks kind of fishy in terms of presentation. I wonder if that's a thing. But anyway, past that, tonally, just wild. So much to unpack with.
You know what I think's wild?
What?
Well, obviously, you got a different experience to this. This show kills off its main character and left people for 3 weeks.
Yeah, I was thinking about that the whole time.
Mm-hmm. You know, obviously, it's obviously Eren. It's obviously
and we'll get to that in a minute because but like. I had a moment watching this where I was like, God, for people who really were into this within the first few weeks, obviously the comparison is more difficult to make because this is 10 years of media and investment versus like the first 3 weeks. But these are those memes that we saw all the time in 2018 and 2019 of like, look, when I'm older and I'm showing my children like the MCU, and it's like, no, fuck you, we're waiting a year. You don't get to watch Avengers Endgame tomorrow night after you just finished Infinity War. I'm making you stew on the fact that you just watched half of them die, including Spider-Man. Like, fuck you, kid.
It's good parenting that as well. It's good
parenting. No, I mean, like Taylor and I just had a debate where we were talking about like when we have kids, like how are we going to show them Star Wars? And I was like, well, I do want to like make good on the experiment of showing it to them in chronological order. And she straight looked at me and she went, "You're not depriving our kids of I am your father."
I'll say that's grounds for divorce, that one.
And I was like, Fair. Now, granted, I did also just see this happened because I did just see a TikTok of like a dad showing a little one who was in one of their little like bouncy things, Star Wars, and the kid was like the whole time, like clearly liking what they were seeing because it's like, okay, here we go. A long time ago in a galaxy far, far away, and then it hard cuts to the double doors opening and Darth Maul just mogging all the people. And I was like, I can't wait to do this. I can't wait to do this. And then I was like, I want to show them to him in chronological order. She was like, you're not depriving our kids of You're not. No. She's like, I don't want to rely on the kids not picking up on the fact that Anakin is Darth Vader. She's like, I don't want to find out that our kids are dumb and didn't figure it. They didn't like remember that going into Empire. And she's like, but I want to be able to see them here. No, I am your father. And then go back. And I was like, okay, fair. Anyway, not the point. But
for the first time around, this applies to everything. Star Wars, Kingdom Hearts especially. If you do anything other than release order, you are a horrific human being.
I will say
release order, and then they can choose if they want to do any other order themselves.
The way I look at it, if I were to show Star Wars to somebody who had never seen them, and they already know the things, because like I think you're going to be hard pressed. I think you're going to be hard pressed in 2025 to find somebody who does not know that Luke Skywalker is the child of Darth Vader.
There's a lot of kids who probably haven't seen Star Wars, I imagine.
I mean, kids, yeah. I'm saying people our age. Like if I have a friend who's like, I haven't seen Star Wars, but like I'd like to give it a chance, they probably know I am your father. They may not know that Luke and Leia are siblings.
But even then, release order. There's no exception there's zero exception to the rule.
I want to do the experiment of chronological so bad.
Yeah, but no, you do that experiment afterwards. You let them do that themselves.
Anyway. Back
to Titan 01.
Yeah.
Because if you want to talk about features, we can talk about features.
What do you mean?
Aaron's pointy chin, his pointy nose, the way his teeth go up and then come down again. The flesh mech of it all.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So, I do want to say real quick, gas powered, not steam powered. I was interested to hear that we're using gas.
I did say compressed gas can, but.
Well, either way, I didn't hear you say that clearly or didn't register. No, it's just one of those instances where like I just want to talk about the technology just for a brief moment, not in any type of like discerning way other than like I just think it's interesting when you have these like little like moments of like, oh yeah, we do have this tiny bit of technology that isn't quite where we feel like we're at in the presentation, but whatever. I just thought it was a fun choice.
You're living in a fantasy world, Jarod. It's fine.
I know. That's fine. I'm not critiquing it. I'm just saying it's one of those instances where it's like I would not have thought to do this setting and then do like the crazy mobility gear with like a gas powered like propeller. Like that is an interesting choice to me.
But this man picks up on why is Annie wearing a hoodie?
Yeah, I thought it was funny.
All of that, and then why is she wearing a hoodie? It's like she's cold.
That is out of place. I like it. I'm doing a bit mostly about it, but I know.
I know.
But pardon me again.
ODM gear is cool.
I also like that they have replacement blades.
Yeah.
That's
literally just craft knives.
Yeah, that's really nifty. Yeah, so I went into these three very curious as to how we get Eren Yeager back. Because I know he's the main character of this story. Obviously. And I watched him get fucking eaten. And kudos.
That's what I was going to say earlier. I completely forgot the word for it, and I just brought it back around. Got fucked by a giant Santa Claus.
Stay bomb bad. But I was like, okay, so how do we come back from this? I was like, because again, I was fully like, oh, maybe he like carves his way out, and like maybe there's some type of like prosthesis he's given. I was like, because the technology's kind of all over the place in a really fun way. And like I'll be honest, it was with me catching the like, oh yeah, these are gas tanks. That I was like, maybe they're like technologically advanced enough that we kind of have almost like a steampunk kind of like cybernetic thing going on. Like, again, like I just got done playing Soul Calibur for a little bit, and there's characters like Yoshimitsu, who like is like a medieval cyborg, like there's gears turning and shit, but he has like robotic parts. So I was curious if that was something that was on the table. And then we get the fucked up edgelord looking Titan, and I went, huh. Yeah, who goes into like a boxer's stance with like a high guard and everything. And I was like, okay. Hi, Aaron. Looking good, buddy. You look really cool. And
also, I should point out as well, for the whole Unit 1 of it all, it virtually has the same screen.
Yeah.
Virtually identical.
Yeah.
And the neck vagina as well. Can't forget that.
And sure. I got lambasted for magic Ava juice, and now we're
some kind of juice now.
And now we're letting neck vagina slide. Cool.
That's what the whole thing is. No.
Anyway, moving past that,
you go back and watch that reveal of Aaron coming, like as they're looking down at that Titan, and tell me that's not what it is.
I mean, sure. I mean, there's like rebirth imagery there as well. I wasn't going to speak on that just because I'm waiting to see how this like thematically develops. But like, I will say there was a brief moment where I went, is this like a plague? Like, can you like catch being a Titan? And
maybe
when he goes down and he gets and like we there looks like it looks like he's in some type of like piloting apparatus, which further makes me question the natural nature of these things.
When you say piloting, are you just not looking at the ODM straps?
It looked like he was in some type of chassis inside of the Titan.
Fair enough.
And I can't really pull it back up by Googling it to fact check myself.
I'm going to be
because I'm gonna take a wild guess that if I look up Eren Yeager inside of Titan, I'm probably going to see something I'm not meant to see quite
Jarod,
yet.
if you even think about Googling Attack on Titan, you are going to destroy every single aspect of this show. Every single one.
Hence, I'm not going.
You can't talk to anyone about this show. Maybe worse than Evangelion.
We'll find out. But yeah. I was like, I just have a lot of questions. The action was a lot of fun. Mikasa.
Oh boy. One of the greatest characters, by the way.
She's great. She's great. And I am like, again, I can see a cult of personality beginning to be born. Like, I am afraid of the way Eren Yeager inspires. It's something I'm already picking up on as something that is going to be a fucking problem.
Do you want something really funny?
Sure.
Right. Last episode, you were this close to figuring something out.
And what was it?
You mentioned Steam and the Titans.
Yeah.
Do you want to know something really funny that you missed?
What?
When Aaron bunks his head on the ground on the ODM gear, and there's a shot of him in the bandages.
Yeah.
This is maybe mild spoiler. He's got steam coming off of his head.
So I thought, I'm going to be very honest about that. I kind of thought that was just like a visual indicator of like, because for a moment I was like, oh, like maybe like it's hot. Like there is condensation and it was like a hot like bandage type thing, like, you know, like we took like a hot rag and it's like, you know, just kind of like giving you like a hot compress type thing. I'm
not gonna say anything more than that. That's already maybe too much, but just to give a little spice in the you can't look at anything of this show without getting spoiled. So I want this man to actually watch this show. I want to see. Part of the fun for me for this one is if Jarod can pick up and stuff.
Damn it, here we are again. Yeah, last night, I'm going to be so real. I
want it to be known. This was Jarod's idea.
So I will say, a little bit was
this
that
man
was me
looked
going,
me dead in the eye through that camera and said, I want to do Attack on Titan next.
Because I wanted the challenge. I wanted the challenge of, I know all the things that are said about this. What I did not expect was to feel like I was back at, well, I feel like I'm back at Evangelion. Like, I feel like, and that's not to say that, like, you know, Dan to Dan or Bebop were like, you know, we're not as good or not as rich or anything like that.
There's a certain flair.
There's a flair and there is a like excitement to be obtuse in presentation here. The themes are a lot like darker in nature, and I mean this as I don't mean this as an insult when I say this. This and Evangelion also have like kind of made their name by being kind of miserable watches.
Mm-hmm.
And I know there's something bigger. I feel in my bones there's something bigger. I know in my heart there are a lot of shoes that are going to drop, and I don't know what they are. And I feel a level of excitement to figure it out. You know, like and again, that's why I feel like I'm back at Evangelion. You know, like I had a realization watching again just how grim and like just oppressive this was, and I had a brief moment where I was like, "Oh yeah, this will be a fun watch at Christmas time." You know, like I'm gonna be hanging out with Taylor, and we're gonna be watching The Grinch and The Christmas Story, and all the Rankin Bass specials, and then I'm gonna get Aaron Yeager doing like Nazi shit.
Well, we could if you have the capability to do it, blast through the rest of this.
We'll see. I mean, like, it depends. It depends. You know, again, I have to balance this with another whole other rewatch show now, but you know, it is just something interesting at play. Where I was like, because again, I was kind of talking shit to myself last night. Where I was like, this will be great to kind of counterbalance the joy of Christmas with. And then I took a beat and went, this is exactly what I did with Evangelion, though.
Then we finished Evangelion before Christmas. Huh?
We did, but like it was close, and it was like around Christmas time when we finished. Did we finish up in October?
I think we did, yeah.
Oh, that's right. Because Scotty was talking about Evangelion around Christmas time. That's right.
So we might not have had the episodes out before Christmas, but I know we finished around October.
Right.
We took so long off. That's crazy.
Yeah. Well, that's right. We did it on purpose, as I know, like my work schedule, I was like, I can't do anything.
It was, yeah.
Because we were getting into holiday time. and I was working retail. But yeah,
it's been a year and he's where he started.
What?
I said it's been a year and he's right back where he started by his own volition.
Yeah, and I'm happy to be here. I'm enjoying it. Like I
say again, that in another like 80 episodes.
Well, here's my thing though, man. Like I am having a moment where again, like I know I've talked about like, oh, this is how this is going to challenge me. This is how this is going to challenge me. Focusing on the fact that like I am like breaking ground in terms of getting exposed to this art form. Bebop challenged me because it was understanding where the story was going and feeling like it was spinning its wheels when in reality it was a story about being stuck in place. And that I couldn't fully grasp that until the end. Dan to Dan was having to deal with a lot of genre convention that I don't typically appreciate and seeing past it to appreciate what is there. I can say already I was challenged by Bebop Dan to Dan. Evangelion, and I'm getting the vibe, Attack on Titan are challenging pieces of art. And I want to make that distinction, because I am already having these moments where I'm like, okay, there's a heaviness to this that was not necessarily present in the other ones. There's underpinnings, but it's not like the point, for lack of a better term. So yeah, I'm very excited.
It's a different kind of way.
Yeah. And I'm very excited to see how this happened. But yeah.
You'll never know. Let's bring that one back.
What hit me?
You'll never know what hit you. Copyright claim. That was someone. But yeah, are we all done?
I think we are.
I really want to say the whole buckshot in the face, the Titan bit's really cool.
That was sick. That was sick.
The way it's shot and the pan around and loved it. Incredible.
I'm so curious as to where this is going next. Oh, one other thing, and it's nothing to do with anything. Just like what I've seen of this show in the past, fleeting moments that I have no real recollection of. Couldn't tell you a single detail. There's a lot more urban warfare here than I was anticipating. Because I really thought a lot of this was going to be trees and shit. I really thought this was mostly going to be fights in the woods.
Yeah.
And there's been a lot more urban warfare, scaling buildings, and I feel like an urban setting, aside from a home field advantage, just there's a lot more verticality and like levels that aid the scouts. And that a fight in a forested area is definitely going to be more advantageous towards the Titans. And I'm curious to see what that looks like.
I mean, you've already seen a couple of woodland fights.
I've seen instances. I've seen little like flashes of them. I'm curious to see. I'm excited to see.
Fights, one was a trading bit,
but I'm excited to see, because again, like you can't like in a forest, you can't just like do a hit and run and then launch yourself like a half a mile away to like land on a building and kind of catch your breath and then get back in there. Yeah, but like, like that's just. I'm excited to see a more confined, but like a space that is more like we are going to spend more time in the air than we are being able to kind of like hit, land, launch, hit, land. Like that is not.
So either way, no matter the terrain, you're always going to end up with that poor guy on the ground with his gas ran out. Right as he fired off, and it's just like, oh, you poor bastard. Just standing there like click, 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 because they're trigger systems, obviously.
Yeah.
Poor guy. That must have sucked.
Yeah. Bad way to go.
Speaking of sucking, though, Not in a Gluck way. I just wanted to clarify that. All right. One of the most iconic things from this show has happened.
Yeah.
It gets cosplayed quite a lot. Where Armin runs, I can't remember her name or their names, but there's a girl doing CPR on half a body.
That was hard to watch.
And it's like that man is in two pieces. Like, can we? I just please stop. That's horrific. Insane moment. Insane. No one was ready for that. But it's moments like that that really got people to latch onto this show. Because this show is fucking crazy. Absolutely crazy.
I can't wait. I'm so excited for more. I
keep, because obviously I've said it out loud and Meta is listening at all times. I keep accidentally liking memes on Instagram and going, unlike, stop liking that. Don't let that get into his feed, for the love of God, because it's heavy spoilers. So that's funny. Oh no, Jarod, fuck. It's been my existence for the last week.
I did mention in the group chat once that I was watching Attack on Titan. I don't think the Bombad boys are going to have time for this one. And there's a part of me that's almost glad.
Jerry's watched the first episode, I think.
Maybe.
I'm just going off. I know that he saw the post, but that's all I'm going off of. I'm not sure. But Jerry's watching Demon Slayer right now, so.
Yeah.
Jerry, what's your Attack on Titan? You just do it. You owe it to yourself.
Help me.
Special shout to Demon Slayer.
Help me. Help bail me out here.
Because man's gonna have a ride, and I can't wait to laugh at a specific point later down the line.
For us? Or for Jerry?
No, just that
Demon Slayer. Oh, okay, cool.
That's way down the line.
Because I will say, you were anticipating a big crash out from me today.
Well, when you kind of said, what was it you said? Sure, I know it was on Blue Sky, wasn't it? You said about crashing out.
I think I said I was going to crash out. I said, I swear to God, Mitch is trying to see if he can break my psyche with Pro and Noob at this point.
Again, let it be known this was Jarod's.
Okay, and let it be known. I said, let it be known that I was like, because I missed doing a more long form version of Pro and Noob a little bit.
That's fair.
Because again, I think I'm still chasing the Evangelion Pro and Noob high.
And I just wasn't going to get away from Dan. I had to do that one.
No, and that's fine. And I enjoyed it, but I remember I said, I was like, we were like, what are we thinking about doing next? And I was like, I don't know. I've thought about Attack on Titan, but like, I don't want to mess up like your production flow. And you kind of went, no, we're doing Attack on Titan. Like, I just want to make it clear. I did not go, Mitch, I want Attack on Titan. I want pictures of Spider-Man. Like,
I gave you the choice and you said Attack on Titan.
Yeah, because I was like,
so I asked you, what did you want to do next? You said Bleach originally, and I was like, nah, Bleach.
No, I didn't say I wanted to do Bleach. You brought up Bleach, and I was like, I said I'd be down to do Bleach. I'd be down to do Attack on Titan.
You said you wanted to watch Bleach because of Levi.
I said I thought it would be fun. I'm not the production guy here. Okay, I said these are the ones on my mind. You think
there's actually a plan for this? That I have a slapdash together list that's constantly changing depending on my mood. It's funny because Attack on Titan was here, then it wasn't here, then it was here, then it wasn't here. It was always on the list, but like next up. And it's like, you know what? Fuck it, we're doing Attack on Titan.
Here we are. And I feel some Ava fuckery afoot. But yeah, that's all I got.
I mean, there's very clearly an Ava. Very clearly.
Getting the Titan, Aaron.
Mm-hmm. This little nussy at the back. I genuinely thought your camera froze then.
I'm done. I'm not doing Nussy. No Nussy. No. Hold up. No Nussy. I felt like the bit would only be complete if you heard the door close.
I'm gonna pull a bum bad and that not be the end, but I'm gonna fake out that it is the end. I was like, fine, if he's gonna play this game, we're gonna go.
Did somebody say impossible?
I hate that thing so fucking much. I hate it so much. It's in the intro, it's in the outro for Bum Bad Guy. I hate it so much.
What?
Just the whole animatronic thing. No, I just
they don't normally put any of the Chuck E. Cheese stuff in the intro.
There's something like that in the intro.
Are you talking about the scary crab guy?
I don't fucking know.
Where it's like the fully blacked out screen with like the opaque red claws and the big eyes says, "I'm gonna get you. I'm gonna get you."
No, it's a bird. It's a bird.
It's a bird. What the fuck are you talking about? I have no idea what you're referring to.
I don't know. It's Bum Bad. I haven't got a fucking clue what goes on last time anyway. I don't believe they do. I say that in the eyes of regard.
They're a bunch of fucking warlocks over there. But yeah, that's all I got. No Nussy.
Those orbs. I mean, you keep saying no Nussy. You said it more times than I have. Where can people find that Nussy, Jarod?
Well, you guys can find me throwing my whole Nussy into the Nerd Academy podcast on YouTube or wherever you get your podcasts. In particular, our weekly MCU rewatch show ahead of Avengers Doomsday called The Road to Doomsday. By the time you're seeing this...
Bear in mind, this is 2 weeks out.
Yeah. I think you'll be seeing the Iron Man 3 episode. And by then, we should be like well into phase 3 on Patreon. So if you subscribe to the Nerd Academy podcast on Patreon, you get early access to every single episode of Road to Doomsday and an exclusive audio commentary track accompanying every movie. So, yeah. Road to Doomsday. It's like the main thing I'm plugging right now. Oh, and Luminous Odyssey, the new
Odyssey.
Yeah, I was gonna say. I was like, I completely forgot it's out now. Yeah, Luminous Odyssey, the new.
It was out, down, and it's out again.
Yeah, there was a editing issue. Michael realized that he accidentally, for whatever reason, his editing software just cut off the last 20 minutes of the episode.
It's really funny. I chuckled at that. I went, "That's unfortunate." Not in a mean way. I rendered the first Pro and Noob for Attack on Titan. Same thing happened to me. I was like, motherfucker. The first time it's ever fucked up the end. And I clock it when I'm uploading the video.
That's brutal. I mean, hey, cool? the trailer for Road to Doomsday, I misread my calendar. And there's a really weird cut when I say when the show's going to start to hide the fact that I had to go in and be like, October 3rd. I had to basically.
Well, I clocked that, I think.
Yeah.
I think I remember watching it going, that was a bit weird. He needs an editor. That's what he needs. This is why editors exist.
Yeah. I'm proud of how the trailer turned out because I am not an editor by trade.
Just that one bit made me chuckle. I was like, "Oh, that's hard cutting there."
There was a fuck up in there where I had to this is the actual date.
That was very much this is recorded after the fact and not in the same way.
I mean, it was the same night. It was like an hour later. Huh?
You said it differently to how you were saying everything else. That's what I was getting at.
No, but
fun.
yeah, Luminous Odyssey, High Republic setting for another Star Wars RPG. It is myself, Joe Organa, Alden Diaz, and the lovely Ms. Taylor, all doing the damn thing in the High Republic. I'm excited for people to come check it out. I got I was joking with Taylor. I was like, the reviews are in, and I was like, and by that I mean 2 of the 3 hardcore followers along with Michael's RPG stuff reached out, and Eli said, finished the new version of the episode this morning, and I deeply love these new characters already. Oz and Soren feel like if Thalbor and Fabian had the same depth they had in season 3 at the beginning of season 1. And I was already like really proud to hear that. And I think this is going to be a good one. I think this is going to be a good one. So
I hope so.
It's going to be.
I'm going to let it get a couple of episodes out before I actually dive into that.
No, that's fair. That's fair. I get that. But yeah.
I also haven't watched anything on YouTube yet for months. For months. Yeah. Is that all?
I think so. I think so. And then obviously Epic Confrontations championship match in December. Don't know the date yet, but that's coming.
And you can find all the links for all of us on the link trees. They're in the description. Go do the things. And like and subscribe. Tell Jarod how wrong he is about Attack on Titan. I don't know. Do something. That's why I said I don't know. I wasn't taking their side. I was taking yours. But we will catch you all next week. I almost said Nussy week, but I wasn't going to.
No.
For episodes, I think it's 9, 10, and 11.
No.
I also found out season 1 is 25 episodes of this. I thought it was 12, but it's not 20.
Damn, so we're just doing a whole Evangelion up front.
Mm-hmm. And then we are a quarter of the way through by that point. But we have to get there first. So we'll catch you all next time. So bye-bye.
Defend the wall with your Nussy.